Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I am Rana Muhammad Kashif and you are watching my YouTube channel Positive People Commission. Here I am with the episode number 2 of Introduction to R Programming series, and what's coming up in episode number 2. In episode number 2 we will be start working with R. I will elaborate about a standard operating procedure for writing a code, how you can write your comments with your R code, and how R is an interactive programming language. We will understand the R syntax and we will perform some basic calculations in R. So let's get started. I highly recommend, if you don't know about R, what is R, how to install R, please do watch my episode number 1 of Introduction to R Programming series. For right now, let's move on to standard operating procedures for writing a code. So the first one is that you must define the problem before jumping into the code. So you must know your problem before writing code for any of if you are writing code in any programming language. If you don't know your problem, then you will lose your way. The second one is that always look for some missing libraries, or you can say you must always look for the prerequisites for your code, and always write code in a text editor. There are built-in text editors in many IDEs. You can also use WordPad or a Notepad if you want, and it's a good way. If you are writing a function, that you must define number of rows that will take to write down your function, and always and don't forget to write comments with your code, that so that the others can see that what you have done. And use short variable names which have long descriptions. So you say that you are looking for the income of a specific age group, so you must specify that income age, a short variable name, that by just inspecting a short variable name you can recall that what is actually behind that short name. The next one is that R is a very important language, as we have discussed in the episode number 1, that it is an interactive programming language. We can use the up and down arrow keys to access our previously entered commands which have been pre-written in the R prompt, and if we can simply exit the R or RStudio by entering Q. What is R Workspace and RStudio? Let us understand this first, then I will move on to the RStudio and we will start working in R. First we need to understand what is actually R Workspace and RStudio. What is Workspace? By name it's Workspace means space where you work. So it is a space in RStudio where we store our functions, or where function or object or any value is recorded. We can look into our R Workspace by just entering ls command. We can explore our data sets with RStudio. History tab keeps a record of the every entered command. So let's jump into RStudio and see. So we can look into our workspace by entering ls command. If we write ls, it will list all. Since I haven't entered anything or any variable, so it will display character 0. Let's see if I have a variable like this, and if I enter ls, and then you see that it has shown me that a is a variable in the workspace, and its workspace has been shown here. And through history tab we can track the history, that what commands we have entered so far, and what is the actual environment is the workspace of the R. So, and how to know our current working directory. If we want to know our current working directory, we will write down get wd. So you see it is my current working directory, and if I want to change my current working directory, I will simply write c/users. For example, if I want to set this as my working directory, and if I again run get wd, you see my working directory has been changed. So in this manner you can change your working directory and get to know your current working directory as well. So setting and knowing your working directory is very important when you are working on a project. You can also set your default working directory from RStudio. If you go into tools, global options, and you can set your default working directory from I have set this my as default working directory. RStudio mainly has 4 windows. The first one is console window, and the second one is where the all the workspace has been shown, environment history, connection, tutorials, anything. And the third one is for where files are stored. You can see in the working directory the files have been shown here. If you plot any graphs etc shown here, loaded packages or available packages have been listed here, help command and viewer in which your data set is shown. And the fourth window is the text editor or the R script, you can say, where you can write your code. So these are basically 4 main windows in RStudio. And R script is where we can save our work code. It's like a syntax. Let me load a dummy data here so you can know that what I really mean. Let me load data. There are some built-in data sets in R. If you press Ctrl plus enter, the commands in the code editor will be executed. If I go to help menu, it enlists the complete help on what the data is about. It is motor, trend, car, road test, when the data was recorded and what are the variables in the data, and some example code is there. For example sake, I will copy this code right here. So just to make you understand what actually R code is and what is R syntax actually looks like. We will get into it when we analyze this data set. For only example sake, that's what it look like. And there is also packages. If I want to install a package in R, I will use install.packages command. If I install a package, let's say ggplot2, it will start installing. I will just stop it right here. That was just for the example sake. Now let's move on to our next slide. But what is R syntax? That is what I have shown here in the code editor, that what R syntax looks like. It is very simple and easier to understand. And what is R syntax is about? R syntax is made up of 3 elements basically: variables, comments and keywords. So there are some variables. For example, in this VS, AM, CYL are the variables, and the text highlighted in green or being prefixed by hashtag are basically the comments in your code, which are not executed but written to understand the line of the code that what is actually being done. And the third one are keywords, which cannot be assigned as variables. For example, if statement, if you want to write if statement, if you want to write a while loop, while, there are the keywords in R which cannot be used as variable. So these are the key elements in R syntax. Like other languages, we can also use brackets and other punctuations in R syntax. So if I want to print hello world, I will just do like this. You see, simple. So R syntax is very simple to use. Now let's move on to how we can do some basic mathematical operations or arithmetic operations, I would say, in R. How we can do it? If I do simple 2 plus 2, you see it gives me 4. I can perform subtraction as well. 3 minus 4, any kind of division. 4 divided by 5, 20 divided by 4, and any kind of multiplication as well. 0 multiplied by 9, 0 multiplied by 9, and 9 multiplied by 8. We can do also basic arithmetic operations in R. We can also write power statements in R. For example, 8 power 2, 64, 9 power 3, 32. So we can use any number of arithmetic operations we want. We can see that there is text that we don't want and we want to clear it. What is the good way to do it in R? What this will do, that it will remove all the workspace. If I write ls again, it will give me character 0, because I have removed all the variables, all the objects from the workspace. And if I want to clear this console, I will press Ctrl plus L, and it will clear the console, and I can start writing again. So that is all from the episode number 2. What is coming up for episode number 3? Episode number 3 of Introduction to R Programming, I will be focusing on some basic building blocks in R, that how we will start working in R, what are the vectors, what are the basic arithmetic operations, what are the prerequisites that you must know before starting coding in R, and how R can be used as a calculator, how we can perform multiple arithmetic operations, how we can assign variables, and how we can print variables, how we will write comments with our R code. All will be in episode number 3. I hope that you have liked the video, and you have liked the video, please don't forget to subscribe my channel and stay tuned for the complete R programming series. And the next episode of the series will be coming on next Monday, and I will be focusing on this basic things here, episode number 6. So don't miss it. My whole series will be of between 10 to 15 episodes, in which you will learn completely all basic R programming techniques. Thank you very much.